right, hey, welcome back, Music Impossible. This is lesson number 10 in our beginning class for middle, high school, and adults. And this is the last lesson before we do a little review and have our first exam of the session. All right, so we're going to take a look today at this little piece here that I put together on Sibelius. And before we get started, let's take a listen. All right, real quick piano piece with treble clef and bass clef in 2/4 time. And there's some terms here that we're going to go over, most of which we have already gone over, and this will be a little bit of review, and then a couple of new ones. And right off the bat, one of the new ones that we have here that we have not talked about is this first one right here, the P for piano. Piano in Italian means soft, and so anytime we see the P, that tells us we want the music to play nice and soft. And if we come over here to some of these other dynamics that we've learned about, we learned about mezzo forte, which is medium loud, and we have mezzo piano, medium soft, and then this F here for forte, which means loud. And in some music, you might see double or even triple fortes. I've seen double pianos, also called pianissimo. If you get to two fortes, that's fortissimo. And we'll learn about those a little bit down the road, some of the more bigger and much softer dynamic levels. Another thing to take a look at here, and here is our decrescendo. Our decrescendo. And a decrescendo, we want the music to get gradually softer. So this is gradually softer. Now, sometimes the composer will put at the end of a decrescendo what dynamic level they want you to end up at. Sometimes they don't, and so you just want to get gradually softer to some degree, and that can be up to you as conductor or the instrumentalist. And same thing here, except the reverse. We have a crescendo, which means to gradually get louder. So up here at the top, we have a decrescendo, gradually getting softer. And it doesn't tell us here exactly how soft to get, so that's up to you as the musician. And then here on the bottom, we have the crescendo to gradually get louder. And this time the composer does tell us exactly where they want us to go with this crescendo. We're going to start at mezzo piano, and we'll continue mezzo piano till it tells us otherwise, and then we'll gradually get louder all the way back up to forte. Now, Sibelius does an okay job of reading dynamics in its own way, and sometimes as a musician, you may want to do a little bit more, a little bit less, but you can tell here it starts with a nice piano sound, and let's see if we can hear those dynamic changes. Right, it definitely gets louder and softer at the appropriate times. Maybe not as much as or as little maybe as you would like as a musician, but that's Sibelius's interpretation of those different dynamics. Now, a couple other things to review here. We have this guy right here. That is the slur. You might remember the slur. The slur means to play smoothly connected is the slur. And then let's see, we also have the staccato. Staccato, we'll pick out, there's a bunch of them here. We'll take this one here at the beginning. Right there. There's two of them. There's one there and there's one there. Okay, and both of those are staccato. And staccato means to play separated. Not short, remember, but staccato is separated. So with staccato, we're separated. It's sometimes called detached, is another way of looking at that. And the last little thing we'll look at here in our quick review is this little guy right down here in the bottom right-hand corner. And that is going to be our accent, where we just want to give that just a little bit of something extra is our accent. And then the fun thing next week is we'll get into rhythms and we'll start learning more about what all of these different lengths of notes are. We spent a good amount of time here in the first section of our course looking at pitches and where those notes are on the piano keyboard and on the music staff. And now we're going to start talking about rhythms. Music is either a pitch, because music really is a combination of the pitches, the notes, and how long you play those notes, and we put those together. That's what gives us the uniqueness of each and every piece. All right, that's it for today's lesson and review. Look for the more comprehensive review tomorrow on all the other things we've learned along the way. And good luck with that first test. You got this. See you next time.